I'm Sean Martin with the South Dakota Hall of Fame, and I'm joined by Taylor and Cassandra Sumption, whose family-owned and operated Anthem Oats has been recognized with the South Dakota Hall of Fame Acts of Excellence Award. Well, congratulations, and how does it feel to receive this honor?
Thanks, Sean. It's a great honor. We were kind of surprised when we were nominated, and a lot of times when you grind through a new company like this, you get a little bit burned out, and things like this really put fuel in the fire and get us excited about what we're doing.
Well, you've got a rich history dating back to really the founding in Frederick. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, my family, my great-great-grandfather homesteaded in Frederick in 1882, and our roots are pretty deep there in that community, and we've moved about 5 miles from where he set up his farm, so a lot of history there. One of the unique things, or things I like about Anthem, is the shift back to oat acres, and that was one of the first crops that was really embraced in the area that we live in. So that part was neat and kind of exciting to get back to the roots a little bit.
Well, Doug Somke has mentioned your commitment to regenerative farming practices. Can you talk a little bit about those practices and how you implement them?
Yeah, a few years back when we kind of reintroduced oats or started growing a little more oats, the first thing I noticed was just a really kind of an increase in our other crop yields, and it seemed like that soil health really improved. And since starting that, I've started working with USDA's Research Farm 2. They've got some grants to try to quantify the impact of oats, and what they've seen is the same thing we've seen, is a huge increase in microbiology and diversity in the soil. It's really exciting when you get into that, and it's been a lot of fun to just see how your ground kind of turns that corner, and we get our corn yields are better, our soybean yields are better. We've been able to move away from traits and chemistries that we were pretty reliant on with that rotation. So that's been really exciting to implement that with cover crops, and kind of it's an exciting part of agriculture. It's very addicting when you get into it.
Well, you're a South Dakota-based company, but you have expanded and sell your products nationally on platforms such as Amazon. What were some of the challenges of going nationwide?
There is a lot of challenges, really. We had the help of a consulting firm get us into some larger national distributors, which was great at first. We are learning some of those challenges as to how much it costs to be in these distribution centers and whatnot. So we're really trying to get back to online and local stores and really making a presence known in the Midwest here.
Well, talk a little bit about the range of products that Anthem Oats offers.
We have about 13 different flavors and SKUs, from just plain traditional oatmeal to some very unique flavors, such as our peach and cranberry, and then we also have a vanilla chai. So it's a little different, but it's very, very good, and very just that home feel of that traditional oatmeal flavors.
Well, education seems to be a core value at Anthem Oats. How do you incorporate educational initiatives in what you do?
Yeah, it's learning about agriculture is paramount, I think, especially where we live in the Dakotas, but across the country there's a pretty big knowledge gap, and we try to gap that, or bridge that gap with our story, and teach people about agriculture, show them where their oatmeal comes from, how it's grown. PBS was a huge part of my life growing up, so we're big supporters of public broadcasting and their education series, and reaching out to children and getting them engaged in agriculture, and in particular value-added agriculture, and the impact that can have on our economy here. To me, that's one of our biggest missions with Anthem, is to educate the public and to try to expand more value-added agriculture.
Well, as we talked about, your family has deep roots in Frederick, South Dakota. Talk a little bit about your involvement in your community.
Yeah, one of my biggest aspirations in starting Anthem and trying to get into more vertical integration was, our town has shrunk since I've grown up with it in it, and one of my hopes is to see jobs creation, get more people to move back into town, add value to the products we grow there. So that's one of the key components, is bringing people in, and a big part of that is having a community that embraces a little bit of change and some new things coming to town, and try to broaden that expansion of things involved in agriculture.
You're very involved with Feeding South Dakota. Can you talk a little bit about how you support that initiative?
I said they reached out to us, and in our line of work, we always have some that doesn't sell as quickly as others. So it's really important that we have somewhere to take these products that don't sell as quickly, and to know they're going to places that they're appreciated. And being, in oatmeal, it will last for years, really. I have some that I'm eating since we started, that we had sampled, and the shelf life is very stable. So it's important to have that kind of stuff available for the people.
Let's talk a little bit about the future. What are some of your goals and aspirations for Anthem Oats?
Yeah, a big one for me is to, climate is at the forefront of everyone's mind lately. We started out, a little bit in carbon and our carbon footprint. One thing I'm really focusing on with USDA and the introduction of oats and a diversified cropping system is to find ways to trim back reliance on chemistries, fertilizers. There's a lot of efficiencies that can be picked up with biology and rotations and multiple crops and diversifying. That's really a big part of what I'm working on now outside of the oatmeal part, is to promote that system. I think getting our country to shift back to that diversification is going to be key to keeping family farmers on the farm.
And finally, for aspiring operators, entrepreneurs, what advice would you have for them?
Take that leap, follow your dreams. I don't know where Anthem will take us, but I can't imagine what it would be like never trying it. My advice is, if you have an idea, if you have something, bounce it off people you know. South Dakota Value Added Ag is a great resource in our state to utilize. Use those resources. Our land grant, South Dakota State University, reach out to people there. There's networks out there. Go to the entrepreneur summits. They're a great resource. They're all people that think alike. Bounce those ideas off and utilize those things that don't cost anything to get those ideas up and going.
Well, as we wrap up, what would you like to leave us with today?
I'd like to thank the South Dakota Hall of Fame. It's a great honor. It's just awesome to meet people in our state that are the movers and shakers that kind of make things happen. And I always leave these events very inspired and motivated and full of energy. And it's really good to come to things like this.
Well, Taylor, Cassandra, thank you for joining us. And again, congratulations on your Acts of Excellence Award.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.